I've got here in my bracket is actually quite different than what Cam just explained to us. Now, the only thing in my bracket that's the same, which I call a pipeline dream because Pittsburgh's going to get bent over and piped by the Bills in the first round, so we don't have to talk too much about that. So, should I restart? Is that all right?
No, it's good. You got it, dude. I'm
All
trying
right.
to keep in as much as I can. I don't want to cut. I don't want to cut it out because it's
Usually,
our own podcast. We can
I'll
do what
just
we
take
want.
it through from now on. I just don't want to. I don't want to make your editing too difficult from these.
It's okay.
I mean, Cam set it up. I'm just saying. All right. So first game I've got, we've got Houston Texans versus the Cleveland Browns. And this game for me. So sorry. Let me get this down. Cleveland has, in my opinion, the best defense in football. I know you saw, like Cam made a great point, watching what the Texans did without CJ Stroud. But with this defense, man, if they locked in and Joe Flacco being the gunslinger he's going to guarantee throw at least one interception. But I think that's fine. What I'm going to say is the left tackle for Cleveland, keep an eye out. I can't remember how to pronounce his name because I always watch it and they always say his last name, so I had to get his first name. I think it's Jerron Christian. He's not good. I've watched him play. He's not good. And the problem with that is on that left side, you have Jonathan Grenard and you have Will Anderson. Will Anderson's not on the left side, but he can blitz from wherever he needs to. And I'm worried about Joe Flacco in this scenario. And I think the only way Houston wins this game, in my opinion, is if they get the ball to Dalton Schultz, because Cleveland's got the best secondary in football, but over the middle, they are not stopping tight ends. So if you get the ball to Dalton Schultz, if you have a run game, which is really hard against this Cleveland team, I'm not too, Devin Singletary is good, and I think he can play well, but I think it's going to come down to getting the ball to Dalton Schultz, and it's going to be getting to Joe Flacco, which I don't think they do. I think Cleveland wins this game. Joe Flacco's had 4 games in a row with at least 300 yards. He's on fire. Joe Flacco playing Joe Flacco football with the best defense in football. It's hard to bet against them. So I've got Cleveland going to the next round. Next game down the line, we've got Chiefs Miami. Miami's beat up. It's Chiefs in the playoffs at home. It's going to be really cold. Now I think Miami can win this game. I'm not counting them out. But I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Miami's going to go out there. Chiefs defense is great too. So Miami just hasn't proven to me that they can beat good teams in big games. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the Chiefs. Moving on. And I don't have any score predictions at this moment. I apologize. But down to Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Buffalo is going to win this game. Josh Allen's going to light Pittsburgh up without. Buffalo has allowed the least amount of sacks in football this year. And I feel like there might be somebody who's not playing. Cam, is there somebody not playing this week that might be able to sack Josh Allen?
Oh, yeah. So all 3 of our starting linebackers from the start of the year are out. Actually, no. Landon Roberts is back. So 2 of our starting linebackers from the start of the year, Cole Holcomb and Quan Alexander, they're both out this game. Yeah.
Who's playing? Who was that first guy they said was playing?
Landon Roberts.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make my guarantee that he doesn't get a sack and he has less than 10 tackles. That's my guarantee for the week.
I mean, well, yeah, he's probably got less than 10. 10 combined or 10 solo?
Combined.
Oh, okay. He might get I like that guarantee, Boston. I like that guarantee.
So with this game, Josh Allen's gonna have to throw the ball, even if their run game doesn't show up. That's fine. He's gonna throw the ball over Pittsburgh. They've got their secondary is mid, but I will say Joey Porter Jr. is a baller. That is an absolute stud in the secondary. But you don't have to throw his way. You don't have to throw his way. Pittsburgh needs to stop the tight ends. That's another thing Pittsburgh hasn't really done well. They've done okay, not the worst, but they need to stop tight ends, which I don't think they will. They got that combo over there in Buffalo, so I have Buffalo winning this game. So we're gonna go over to the NFC part of the bracket again. I'll try to run through this quick. Tampa Bay, Philly at Tampa Bay. Philly started 10-1, and they're going to end their season in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to win this game at home. Tampa Bay blitzes. They're second or third in the NFL in blitzing. Turns out Jalen Hurts sucks when teams blitz. I don't necessarily want to blame Jalen Hurts, but I will blame the play calling. Play calling is not blitz friendly. Tampa Bay is going to win this game in Tampa. I almost want to make that my guarantee. I won't. By how many times I've been wrong on guarantees the past few weeks, it probably helped me out. So Detroit and Rams. So again, I have Tampa Bay winning that game. We're going to go down to the Rams and Detroit at Ford Field. And what I have is the Rams have won 7 of the last 8. Okay. Detroit has a questionable secondary. David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs are going to need the ball out. Both of them are going to need to show up for this game. Because when you're losing a tight end like Laporta, that's a top target for your boy Jared Goff, and taking that to the Super Bowl is going to be tough because even Jared Goff said it himself in the presser that it's hard to lose a connection like that they had. So I'm just saying, even Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and DeMarcus Robinson's had 4 straight touchdowns, 4 straight games with touchdowns. It's just Kyron Williams has been a dog recently, an absolute dog. It's just so hard to see. So hard to see that come in. Now, I will say that Detroit has allowed 31 sacks, which is 4th in the NFL, but LA's only allowed 34, which is 6th in the NFL, but they have a backup left tackle. Now, he's played for a little bit, but he's a backup left tackle. So if you can get to Matthew Stafford's going to be on point this game. He's going to have to not throw picks like he wants to. Jared Goff is either going to throw 5 touchdowns or 4 interceptions. He's so unpredictable. Matthew Stafford has not had his best season, but he's still the gunslinger he's always been. But they've been playing well with that run game. If that run game continues, I just see LA winning this game, and I have LA winning this game. So I said Stafford needs to make no mistakes, which he always does, but sometimes it turns out for the best. Now, going down to Dallas and Green Bay, as much as I tried to make a case for Green Bay winning this game, they're not going to win this game. There are opportunities. They've had Jordan Love's been a gunslinger. I don't care what anybody says. He's an absolute gunslinger. That man can throw the ball. And to be fair, Dak Prescott's kind of been a gunslinger this season too. It may not be as fun to watch as, Brett Favre's or Aaron Rodgers, but he's been fun to watch this season. He's been making plays. CeeDee Lamb's out there. He's just hard to stop. And I don't think Green Bay can. I want Green Bay to win this game. I don't think Green Bay is winning this game. Tony Pollard's kind of just been there to keep the pass game steady, keep the defense on their toes. So Tony Pollard, not see him being too big of an issue here. But Green Bay can run the ball. Don't forget that. Green Bay can run the ball. And they've got a gunslinger in Jordan Love and some young wide receivers and young tight ends, young receivers in general. So if these kids if they were coached by the Detroit Lions, they win this game, but they're not. So I have Dallas winning this game. So then I have Baltimore, Cleveland, and in this game, boys, you never know what happens in this division, and you know that, Cam. You know this division. You never know. And with that being said, I have Joe Flacco going into Baltimore. Baltimore having too much time off, thinking too much, playing around. Joe Flacco goes in there, plays with his food. Joe Flacco goes back home to his Super Bowl winning city and takes a dub and beats Baltimore in the second round. And I'm confident in that. If Cleveland gets to the second round, if Cleveland can get past Houston, Cleveland will beat Baltimore. And I feel so good about that. Now we have Buffalo and Kansas City. Kansas City traveling to Buffalo. Buffalo has been on a tear. I think they might be the most. They've been hot. And I think they're the scariest team in the playoffs right now. With that being said, going into Arrowhead, it's hard. It's so hard to want to believe that the Chiefs can win a game consistently. But the same thing with Buffalo. Buffalo's won many straight, and they've won some good games, and their defense has been playing lights out. But so has the Chiefs. Chiefs defense has been playing great. Uh, I just take I when it comes down the line, and I don't know who to choose, I have to go Patrick Mahomes. So I'm taking Kansas City in this game. I just can't bet it. When it comes to one or two things keeping me from choosing each team, I have to go with Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. There's just something about it. You guys know it's just he's the man. Uh, so over back on the NFC, we've got San Fran and the Rams. I think San Fran wins this game. I think the Rams have a shot, but San Fran's just too dynamic. San Francisco's just too good of a team. The Rams can make a run to the Super Bowl if they win this game. They win this game, Rams go to the Super Bowl, but it's just hard to see the Rams play, especially the way San Fran's playing and how eager they are to win, especially after last playoffs. I just don't see San Francisco losing to the Rams, but they could. The Rams have been on fire, and it would be fun to watch. Dallas, Tampa Bay, another one. I think that's going to be a boring game. I think Dallas would absolutely dog walk Tampa Bay. So I'm going to go ahead and say Dallas wins that game. So we got AFC Championship, the Cleveland Browns versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Flacco is a dog, and he is on fire, and it's going to be burnt out when he plays the Chiefs, going into Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes again, finding a way to win. Even if that offense is not clicking, he's going to find a way to win. But if there's a defense to stop him, be Cleveland. So if Joe Flacco can keep playing the way he's playing, I'd love to see Cleveland go, but I've got Kansas City going to the Super Bowl from the AFC, and then San Fran and Dallas. Dallas having to go to San Francisco. At some point, I just can't trust Dak Prescott to keep making plays. So with that defense in San Francisco, even though that high power offense, the way Dak throws the ball, I think he throws an interception or two because of how much he has to throw the ball. Because I don't think Tony Pollard shows up in that game. I think their run game gets shut down by San Francisco, forcing them to throw the ball. And I don't think Dak Prescott's throwing the ball over San Francisco. I think San Francisco wins that game, goes to the Super Bowl. San Francisco versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It is going to be an incredible showing of talent. Maybe two of the most talented teams, the wide receivers, not so much for the Chiefs, but San Francisco alone, and watching Patrick Mahomes is always a good time. Travis Kelce, Andy Reid out there. It's going to be a fun, I think, I don't know about high scoring, but I think there's going to be a decent amount of turnovers. That may not lead to scores, but I think there's going to be some turnovers in that game. With Patrick Mahomes, he's always turnover prone because he loves to throw the ball, and Brock Purdy having to show up in the Super Bowl. But in the end, I've got Kansas City coming out. Patrick Mahomes wins another one. It's hard to bet against. It's hard against bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs. So, in this playoff scenario, I've got the Chiefs coming out on top.